Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay there. So I just have a few quick announcements before we get going here. First, I just like to point out that we have a microphone here in the middle, so if she likes to do questions and such, we'd like to hear what those are, so if you could use the microphone for us, that'd be awesome. Next, we also have FlipON.TV going on. All of these panel rooms are being broadcasted live right now. If you look towards the back there, you'll see a camera going, and so you can get on there and you will see yourselves or all the different panels going. Next, flash photography. If we could just have you turn off the flashes on your cameras and cell phones and such, that'd be awesome. But please, take as many photos as you can. We love to see those up on Facebook and Twitter and all of that. Lastly, if you get a phone call, could you just please take it outside, and if you could put them on vibrate, mute, etc. So with no further delay, I'm going to introduce Grey DeLisle! You told me to mess up. Grey DeLisle. Woo!
He said it like 3 times back there. He's like, oh yeah, DeLisle. I just have to say it a few times before I can get it in. And then he's like, Grey where should I sit or should I'll stand. I'm wearing heels, but I'll stand. Hi. I was afraid there would be nobody here. I was like looking through the crack and I'm like, oh, there's people in there. Okay. And then I thought maybe they're people that are just leaving the guy that was on TV's panel, but let me see. And I was like, no, they're sitting. They're not going anywhere. Anyway. Hi. So is this Q&A or how do we do this? Okay. I'm happy to be here in Seattle. I lived in Tacoma for a while. I was doing I was playing Ophelia, and I went a little crazy because there's no sunlight here, and I had really long hair, and when you're in a play, you're not allowed to cut your hair, and so I just got rebellious. As soon as the play was ended, I decided to Flowbee my head. Do you know what a Flowbee is? It's a cutting device that you hook up to a vacuum cleaner, and I vacuumed my head up, and I had hair all the same length all over my head. And I had to go to Supercuts to fix it, which you know that's a problem. If you're going to like, please, Supercuts, fix my horrible haircut. Anyway, so yeah, that's my my Washington experience so far. But you guys have made it a lot better for me, just meeting all of you and hugging all of you and signing pictures. So anyway, I guess we'll start with the questions, or does anybody have any? Okay, well, thank you so much. She's sorry I picked her. She's like, oh crap, she picked me. Oh my God.
What do you think of the live-action Fairly OddParents movie?
What do I think of the live-action Fairly OddParents movie? I think it's good. And I met Tootie. I got to meet Tootie, who was super cute and sexy, and which was weird. And they wanted Jerry Trainer to play that part of of Timmy. I'm glad he didn't, though. He's got other things to do. I don't know, but I like it. I thought it was cute. And I like that they used some of our people, you know, some of the Canadian people got to actually be in it, so that was cool. Hi.
What's it like being Tara Strong's arch nemesis?
My boobs will never be that big, that's for sure. It's fun. I'm the dark side of Tara Strong. She can have her rainbows. Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering, when you do voice work for things like Avatar, which is very physical in its animation, how much of the finished project do you get to see of like the fight scenes, or when you're screaming at various characters?
Well, I remember during ADR for Sozin's Comet, I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, it's just, sometimes you're geeking out in the booth as you're trying to do the ADR. But that's like the first look that I ever get of things. And sometimes you'll do something that you're just like, this is dumb. And then you go in there and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You just kind of have to, it has to translate, you have to see it, and then you're like, oh, I get it, you know. So yeah, but, so did I answer your question? I don't know.
Kinda,
I tend to.
I guess what's ADR would be my follow-up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a BPG with a 369. I don't know. I'm sorry, additional dialogue recording. So they'll record us doing the script, and then if there are things that they missed, and which in Sozin's Comet they missed a ton of like just effort, you know, and like all that kind of stuff. So they bring you in to do, you know, if the animators made you throw something in there, you're just like, you know, you have to go, you know. So that's what ADR is, and that's a lot of times when I get blown away by what I've actually been working on for, you know, however long ago. So yeah.
Thank you.
So if there's ever anything you don't understand, sometimes I'm clueless. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Hi. thank you so much for signing.
No
number
problem.
one, and giving a hug. That was amazing. So
Oh,
I really
yeah,
appreciate
I've
that.
been coming around the table because my first con, they were like, don't go around the table, it wastes time, just lean over the thing. And so there are a few pictures out there of me leaning over, I'm not gonna lie, it was embarrassing. But now I'm not, I told them, I was like, I have to sit at the end of the table so that I can get up and hug the people, or at least, you know, because I don't know, it's just weird, like, oh, hi, where's the disinfectant? You know, I don't know, yeah, I even took the disinfectant down. I was like, oh, that's weird. It's like, ugh, thanks for $20, gross. You know, I don't know.
Well, as a huge fan, I really, really appreciate that. And as I was talking to you, you were saying that you were going to be on Legend of Korra, and I was wondering if you could maybe spill your beans and say what you're going to be doing.
I already accidentally spilled beans on the internet about the Dark Spirit, and I had no idea you weren't supposed to say that, and I got an immediate, like, no, Gray, you have a big giant mouth. And I didn't even know how popular Azula was before, when I started tweeting and stuff, I just didn't know what, I went to a con with like one picture of myself, and I'm like, okay, so, and they're like, do you have any Azula? And I was like, oh yeah, Azula, oh yeah, I did that a long time ago, is that popular? And they're like, yeah. So now I've got like 4 Azula pictures. So I just like kind of was like, oh, I'm on Twitter, I'm gonna try, and then yeah, it was not a good idea to do. My husband's so sweet because he's younger than me, and he was like, oh, look what's trending and what's on Tumblr and what, you know, and he was like, oh my God, that thing about the Dark Spirit, that must be a big show because it's got like 3,000 retweets or something like that. And I was like, what? Anyway, but so I am doing the Dark Spirit because that cat's out of the bag. I can't talk about what it is. It's not Azula. A lot of people think it's Azula. It's not. I'm doing 3 new characters for the show, and they're totally different. I can tell you one's a waterbender, which is, it's interesting playing a waterbender. And she's bad. Very bad. Anyway, so, but it's so good. It's such a great show, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
I love it.
And there's lots of famous people on it, so I'm like, usually I'm okay with the famous people, but there's one famous person that I loved when I was younger, and I was just trying to be cool. You know, I was just like, oh, hey, doing voices. Oh, you signed in right under me? That's cool. Take an iPhone picture. I took an iPhone picture. I'm like texting it to all my girlfriends from high school, like, oh my God, look who I'm on top of. So I've worked with them a bunch of times, and then recently I just worked with them, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I was like, I've been playing it cool, but no, I really freaked out when I saw you for the first time, so anyway.
Hi.
Hi.
I really love your vocal tweets.
Thanks.
As Azula, they just crack me up and make my day every time you do one. And I guess I was curious, like, how you get along with Dante Basco, because brother and sister, but...
Oh, Zuzu. He gets on my nerves. He's all right, I suppose, for a peasant. Oh, we love each other. He's awesome. Actually, my husband's in the front row. Should I even point you? No. Sorry. We just went to Vegas, and I tweeted that I was going to Vegas, and I guess Dante saw it. So he's like, where are you? You're here right now. I'm here. He was up there for a poker tournament. So I was like, oh my God, we have to do something. We have to meet up, you know, and have like a battle or something. We'll take a picture of ourselves, and, you know. And he was like, all right, I'll do it. And it was like really late at night, almost midnight. And I'm like, let's go to the Excalibur, you know, and in front of that, you know, the castle. That'll be good because the battle for the throne, you know. And so I'm like, my husband and I are standing. I'm like, let's just meet right under the Excalibur sign, like an idiot. I'm like, maybe there's more than one Excalibur sign. I don't know. There was a lot of other signs. So we're just standing there, and I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm under the Excalibur sign. I'm like, I'm here. Wait, I don't see you. And I'm going, Dante, you know, just, and finally, I was like, okay, are you looking at the Gangsters musical sign or whatever? And he's like, no, I see the whatever. And I was like, oh, shoot, I think that's on the other side. So we're walking around in the cold, but it was worth it because we took a really badass Tumblr picture. I don't know if you saw it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you ever play like the games you voice act in, or watch the animated stuff you voice act in?
No, I don't. I don't play games. I haven't played a game since I was a little kid at the laundromat with my mom playing Pac-Man. And I got way too into it. They must have known I was going to do voiceovers because I was like, no! What are you doing? No, just like way too. It's like, calm down. So no, I haven't played it. My husband's played my Catwoman on Arkham City, but yeah. And it was funny because when that went on Twitter and trended, he was like, weren't you in Arkham Asylum or in Arkham City? I think it's trending on Twitter. And I was like, I think so. Yeah, because it's 1 hour out of your life or something, and so there's a lot of things, so you just kind of forget what you're in until they become, and then you're like, oh, that's awesome. I did that one afternoon. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Hi.
So when we all got Diablo 3, we all had to play as wizards because we all said we have to play as Azula.
I know, it sounds very similar too. Yeah.
Do you find that sometimes comes up where you get into a new job or something, and even though you can do as many different voices as you can, you get people ask you, do the Azula voice?
I think that the guys over at Blizzard, they do like avatars, so I was trying to make it different, and but they'll direct you and like, can you make it a little tiny of a touch of British, but not complete? And I'm like, oh, it's getting Azula-ish, and I know I'm gonna hear it. Like, how come your voices sound the same? Not that you're saying that, but people have said like, how come all your voices sound the same? And I'm like, how come you're a jerk? Why don't you leave? No, sometimes you just can't help it. Like they kind of direct you into a spot where you're like, all right. They're very similar, very powerful, and so. Yes, but I love that game though. I mean, I just love the way it looks. I've seen a lot of the graphics for it and everything, and yeah, honestly, like I'll put like a Southern accent on something or a lisp or just trying to get something different, but kind of have to give them what they want if that's what they want, and yeah. But I can't see why that would be a bad thing to sound like Azula. I mean, she thinks it's fine. Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi
First
again.
of all, so worth the wait, and on the 5 o'clock thing, I've pretty much made my day.
This is Kelsey. We met earlier.
Hi. And I cannot believe you hugged me. Quick question.
Okay.
If the universe ever collapsed and Mandy, Sam Manson, and Azula ever teamed up, could anyone force in the world stop them, including the Avatar?
I think Mandy could handle it all on her own. I mean, just her smiling makes the world fall off its axis, so,
Very true.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hi.
Who's this stranger?
I don't know. I mean, I worked
She's been my friend on Twitter for a long time, and she has this lion avatar, and I just pictured this like 60-year-old man. I don't know why. So we've been DMing, and then I met, and I was like, oh, hi, oh my God, how weird. It was a catfish situation, I have to say.
Okay, so hopefully mine's kind of a basic question. Not sure, because I know, like you said, you go all over the place with your answers. Because on Twitter, I know when you and Tara, you've been to several different pony conventions, and the only reason you can't be a voice for a pony is because you're not Canadian.
Yeah.
So if you were able to actually voice a pony, what kind of pony would you actually hope to be? An earth pony, unicorn, Pegasus? Or princess, because they're alicorns. They got the whole unicorn power.
I would be a Pegasus. I would be a gray Pegasus with some issues. And I might get to be a voice of a gray Pegasus with some issues. Some fans asked me if I would want to voice that, and so they are making something really cool. And I can't really talk too much about it, but it's going to be out soon, and I will tweet the heck out of it and Tumblr it.
Until then, I'll try and draw gray Pegasus with issues.
Okay. They're good issues. She's awesome.
You'll get on Twitter.
Okay. Okay. It sounds like I farted, but I didn't. Like, I rubbed my foot. I totally rubbed my foot on the back of my, on back of my shoe, and it was like, and I was like, oh, this mic's picking up everything. I'm just nervous, that's why.
Hi.
Hi.
What would you say was your strangest role?
Strangest role? Well, what? Oh, yeah. When we were doing that Star Wars thing, I was just like, I don't have impressions. I just have characters. All the guys are doing impressions. So one guy was doing Chris Rock, and I was like, I'm going to do Chris Rock's mama. She got to talk about some things that are bothering her, too. I don't know. I just, because Mandy wasn't translating.
I was doing everything like this, and I'm not sure if people even heard me or whatever, so I had to be a spaz like those stupid boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's funny that I actually did a voice like that, which probably was my strangest role, because I was all by myself. It was a really low budget thing, and I was like just having fun getting into, the older black woman, and then all of a sudden the man that played her husband came in, who really was a black man, and I was like, oh, now I feel weird doing this voice, and so I was kind of like, it got like very Caucasian, and then but the director didn't see that he was behind her, so she was like, Gray, you were kind of like sassier before. Do it like you were just doing it, and I was like, what, is doing it sassy? I was kind of, the guy was so nice. He's like, I heard you already. Just go ahead. It was good.
Hi, you're a Homestuck, correct?
I couldn't get, it's like so heady. Like I wanted to, because I was like, oh, how cool, this cool thing. And then I was like, I'm going to do voices for the people because they like these characters. I looked into all the stuff and I did some vocal tweets, but man, that stuff is heavy. I don't think I'm smart enough to get through it.
Well, my one question is, what would your headcanon Vriska Circuit voice be?
I did a vocal tweet of Vriska. It's called Frisky Business. Look it up on my vocal tweets. But it was kind of like a smoky kind of voice, kind of a little bit like that. Look it up, because I did some good quotes for it. Yeah. Fine, thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I really like your Vriska.
Oh,
I heard the vocal tweet, and you're also my Azula is probably my favorite character on Avatar, and I just think you're great.
Oh, well, thank you, peasant. I won't banish you then, I suppose.
I have a thing that I wanted to give you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Could I come up there?
Okay. No.
An awesome Fire Nation pin. Thank you very much. I'm putting it on my badge. Thank you. If you don't have a present,
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry about all the Avatar questions, but I have one more.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more serious.
Okay.
How do you prepare for your roles? Like, if you have to be a really evil, really tortured person, do you just watch a lot of sad movies? Or, like
I'm an evil, tortured person by nature.
You're so sweet.
I wish I could say, I don't want to lie to you guys and say, like, I have a lot of preparing and just like a lot of stuff. Because a lot of people, like, I saw this guy that I know that does voiceovers with me, like, teaching this class, and he's like, always do your warm-ups. I warm up every time I do my thing, and I'm always preparing. And I'm like, that is such crap. I was like, he does not do that. And we're like drinking milk, and he's like, don't eat dairy like an hour before, and we're like, here's some cheese, and then we just pop into it. I don't know. I did stand up for a long time, and I was like an improv and stuff, so you just kind of like, I don't know. But sometimes I have trouble like remembering a voice, and I'm like, what did I do for that? I'm doing this new show called Sanjay and Craig on Nickelodeon. It's hilarious. It's really funny. Chris Hardwick and Linda Cardellini from Freaks and Geeks, and she was on the Scooby-Doo, and it's I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. I don't know. There's a lot of really cool people on this new show, but Nickelodeon hates me right now. Ray, shut up. Anyway, but they changed I did the role of the mom, and it changed so much that every time I go in there, I'm like, can you play me whatever we ended up with, and so sometimes it's hard to do, but
usually I can just pop right into it. Yes. It's a sharp outfit, by the way.
Thank you.
Hi, Gray.
Hi.
Some of us, at least me in particular, are hoping to be voice actors someday, hoping to join you guys up in the booth. And my question being, if you had one piece of advice that you wish you knew starting out in voice acting, but didn't, what would that piece of advice be?
Gosh, that's a really good question. It's a hard question.
I apologize if it's too hard.
No, I know. Well, things worked out for me, so I feel like did I screw up at any point? Something I wish I knew. No, I was just great, and I knew. No, I knew everything. I guess I would have. I held off on taking those. I mean, if you're really good. There are these classes where you can meet like 6 casting directors in 6 weeks or whatever. And there were some people that took them before they were ready, and they kind of burnt 6 bridges for $600. And so it was like, they should have studied more with, like I always say, don't take classes from people that can't get you jobs unless you're not good enough yet. Then take like from actors or those kind of people that teach. But then once you're really good, only take classes with people that can hire you, you know, because otherwise, like some actor's not going to go, you're an amazing actor, I'm going to help you get a lot of work. No, they're going to be like, let's keep this secret from every casting director in town. Maybe you should die. But I got good. I got good, and I felt like I was ready. But I was like, it's not fair that I should have to pay to meet casting directors. And so I sat on that for a while and still didn't work. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it on a credit card. And I did, and I met 6 people that I still work for every week. So it sucks, but sometimes you have to just, you know, if you feel like you're really good, make those connections. Because casting directors have a billion people that want to get in their face and do voices for them, and if you have to pay them $50 or whatever to just go, here's my thing, you know, if they like you, they will hire you.
Yeah,
so.
just suck it up because it's probably worth it.
I know. I remember Chris Zimmerman walked to me about all these people were trying to talk to her in their you know, people take classes and they think like if they ask a question, like people have always told me that I have a really great voice or whatever, you know, and like they're hoping that the casting director's gonna be like, oh my God, you're amazing, come here and work for me, you know, or they'll go, I have a question and like follow them out to their car and everything. But she was saying like, hey, I have an audition for you next week. Do you want to go? So, and I still work for her all the time. So if you feel like you're ready, just pay the damn money. I don't know. I wasted 3 months sulking at my waitressing job. Okay.
Thank you, Gray.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering, how did the voice of Azula come about? Was there direction that kept saying, make it a little bit more evil? Or
No. Actually, I didn't get directed into that voice at all. Well, they wanted a celebrity because they do a lot of celebrity casting on the show, but they couldn't find the right celebrity for that part. And I remember seeing it come around and not getting an audition for it and thinking, I'd like to audition for that. But a lot of voice people like get pegged as you're a voice person. So usually I'm like woman number 5, you know? I mean, they just bring you in to do like all the incidentals and they give the celebrity, they just do kind of their own voice as the part. So I really, really wanted to do it. And it like months and months went by, and they just could not find the right voice. So finally, they got to the carnies. They got to the the second tier folk, and so they got to me. And a lot of people were yelling at the audition and like, you know, and like that kind of, you know. And I just thought she's so powerful. She doesn't need to do that. She can just tell people what to do, and they'll just do it because they're so freaking scared, you know. So I just kind of did nothing, you know. And that's kind of, they said, you're the only person that didn't yell, and I think it works. So. That's kind of how that happened.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So my friend back in Portland who wasn't able to be here today wants to know if you were able to work with, or if you were able to hang out outside of work with any of the people from Avatar, specifically Mark Hamill.
Mark is so sweet. I used to dress up a lot for work. I used to wear dresses all the time. I kind of like grew out of it. I used to wear vintage dresses all the time. I kind of grew out of it, but because jeans at Forever 21 are $9.90, so I was like, maybe I'll start wearing jeans. Also, when the older you get and you're still wearing vintage clothes, you start to look like the crazy 40-year-old lady. Yeah, but Mark used to always be like, Grey DeLisle, the most dressed up girl. You're never going to see her, but she's dressed up every day. Like, dressed up for a job that nobody sees her. You know, I hang out with him just in the booth and stuff. We did this horrible cartoon together called, sorry Nickelodeon, they're really going to kill me now. It was called Danger Rangers. It was, anyway, but yeah. But Mark and Kevin and Kevin Michael Richardson and Rob Paulson, it had like really great people, and we were like, safety's awesome. Yeah, but so no, I just know Mark from just working. But my only person I hang out with socially, like we go to dinner sometimes. He and his wife are good friends of ours. It's Tom Kenny and Jill Talley. Yeah, and he's just the nicest person you'll ever meet. I don't know if he'll ever do a convention because I keep telling him, Tom, if people really love you, you need to go to one of these. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. And but he's like my only kind of friend outside of work, really. And Cree Summer, I hang out with her a little bit.
Can I ask you a huge favor?
Yeah.
Could you say hi to Caitlin?
Yes.
All right.
As Azula, what is she like?
She likes all Azula all the time.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
That's a sharp outfit, Caitlin. Sharp enough to puncture the hull of a Fire Nation battleship. I can't do it. Caitlin, Azula sucks, okay?
Thank
because
you
it's so
much.
sharp. Empire class Fire Nation? I don't know. Empire class Fire Nation battleship. leaving thousands to drown at sea. I need you standing behind me, like feeding me. It's like Cyrano de Bergerac. Hi. Or Roxanne for you young children. Hi.
I have a comment and a question.
It's you with the cool hair.
Yeah.
Hi. Is your name Cody? Or
Aaron.
Aaron, shoot. I was going to try to impress you, but.
Okay, my comment is from Jennifer Hale.
Yes.
And she says that nice girls kick ass. And my question, it's kind of boring, but what's your favorite part of playing Daphne from Scooby-Doo?
Well, Mary Kay Bergman, the woman who played it right before me, was my teacher. And she meant so much to me. And when she passed away, I felt so awful about, I mean, her husband had actually moved into my house because he couldn't go back to their house. It was, I don't know if anybody knows, but she passed away in a kind of a bad way. And so he didn't have any place to stay, and he came and stayed. And they called me like, Gray, they're doing auditions for Mary Kay's part. It was just, ugh, I'm gonna cry. They were doing auditions for all these parts that she had done, and I just kept thinking, like, I can't believe the world is going on. You know, why are they're having auditions then 2 days later? That's not right. You know, there's, and a lot of actresses were just like, have you read for, you know, have they found anybody for that yet? You know, and it was kind of ugly. And so I said, I'm not reading on anything that Mary Kay did. That's just, ugh. But her husband was like, Gray, you were her favorite student. You've got to, well, I don't know. People would argue if I was her favorite, but I was her favorite. But she said, you have to read on it. And I said, well, I can't listen to the tape, because they made these tapes of all of her voice, and they were like kind of distributing. It was back in the olden days when there were tapes. And so a lot of people had, you know, and I said, I'm not listening to those tapes. I can't do it. I'll go in and just do my best, my own Daphne, whatever I kind of feel. And I went in, I'm gonna cry. And anyway, the engineer said, Gray, it was like Kate, it was like, you know, she was in the room, because you just sounded exactly like her, and it was like her spirit kind of blessed the whole thing. And anyway, I don't know if that's true, but it feels good to me, and I really miss her a lot. She was an amazing person. And and it's funny, because my best friend April Stewart ended up doing all of her, she didn't know Mary Kay, but she ended up doing all the South Park roles that Mary Kay had done. And so it's kind of funny that, you know, I don't know, that two of my favorite people did the same roles. And anyway, I really miss her. And my favorite part of doing Daphne is just knowing that I'm honoring Mary Kay's memory. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. I thought he was giving me a present, but not. I guess he wasn't. So I was like, thank you. Bye.
Hey, I was wondering, can you do Mandy talking to Vicky and Azula, just talking about some things?
You guys think you're badasses, right? Just a couple of spazzes. Oh, you're a twerp. Shut up, you little blonde bimbo. You're both ridiculous. Get out of my sight. You're both banished.
So I became a really big fan last summer when I marathoned Avatar with my best friend, and we talked for hours on like the cinematography, the psychological aspects of the characters, and we think the show is much deeper than just a children's show.
Oh yeah.
And one topic we keep coming back to is the last Agni Kai between you and, well, not you, but I mean, you're
I
basically
kicked May's
Azula,
ass. No, she kicked mine.
So the last Agni Kai between Azula and Zuko, and we both, like, we love Katara, but we were also hoping for Zuko to win one fight, which he didn't really. And so I was wondering what you thought of the last Agni Kai and Azula's breakdown.
Well, it was really sad for me to see. I mean, you know, I was invested in Azula. I just was. I mean, because when you're playing a villain, you really have to have some compassion for them. They can't just be all evil. You kind of have to know why they're the way they are. And I just have so much compassion for her, because she has, you know, mommy issues and intimacy issues. You know, you saw her in the beach, like, trying to flirt. And I was like, oh, you're trying to dominate him. It's weird. And so I have a lot of compassion for her, so I guess I was secretly hoping that she would win, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of sad that she lost. That's my feeling on that. Yeah, I love Azula. Poor thing. She needs a hug. She needs to come to my table and get one. Thank
All
you.
right, and then also, can you say hi to Sam, Patrick, and Zach, just so I can make my friends jealous?
Okay.
In Azula's voice, perhaps?
Yes. Sam, Patrick, and who?
Zach.
Sam, Patrick, and Zach. You peasants. Why weren't you here? You couldn't afford it? Of course. Of course not. Well, trust is for fools.
Thank you.
Hilarious. Double dipping in the line. Double dipping.
Yeah, in all fairness, I am going back to manage your line very shortly, but it is towards Princess Azula.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're not my princess. You are actually my Fire Lord, so yeah, you can hate me for not letting Zuko. I'm sorry. So Azula is my Fire Lord, and I was wondering if you wanted me to order from Dominationo's pizza with a lot of mushrooms, because we know Tylee and May hate those.
That was so fun. My husband just was like, we were just bored one night, and he was like, oh, look at these vocal twits you can do. You should do one in your character. So it was like late at night, and I was like, oh, and we were just I don't know. He's like, it'd be funny if she was like ordering pizza or just doing regular stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to just do something in your house, like not even thinking. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, we'll order from Domino's. I'm like, oh yeah, Dominationos. Oh yeah, that's good. You know, and I'm trying to write it down on like the back of an envelope or something so I don't mess it up. I was trying to do it just freehand out of my head, and then I was like, I'm messing it up. I gotta write it down. But then I was like, yeah, we'll order extra mushrooms because people hate extra. That'll be funny. We were just being dumb. And then you push send, and then it's like, holy crap, 500 likes or whatever. You know, it's just, I don't know. We're easily amused.
Yeah, I got that tweet in the middle of visual art history class. So during break, my teacher looks over. I am cracking up because I have the headphones on. And I'm just laughing so hard. Yeah. So I'll see you in 15 minutes.
Okay.
I have to go back to being your minion.
Okay, thank you. Tell them I'll be there soon, ready to give them a squeeze.
Hi, I really admire your work, and someone already asked a Scooby-Doo question, so I won't bore you.
That's
but,
okay.
You obviously have such range. I'm not going to.
No, go on.
You just have such range and can do so many different voices. Did it make you feel a little bit like a celebrity to basically be asked to do your own voice as Frankie Foster?
Only to Lauren Faust. Yeah, it was funny because when she asked me to do my own voice, I was just like, oh, okay. What's my own voice? Like I was like, yeah, I was just like, oh, something like that. And she was like, no, like more like you. And I'm like, so like, just, and she's like, no, like just you talking. I'm like, okay. I had to actually like go, like talk and then go, okay, just roll into it from that, because it was really hard for me I'd never done my own voice. Yeah, and now I do kind of my own voice for Kitty on Tough Puppy too, because Butch Hartman and I are kind of friends. And he's like, just be you. You're the girl we always tease anyway. You're just like Kitty, like you're around all these weird guys all day. And you're trying to keep us all, on track.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I was just wondering, what did you feel happened to Azula after her breakdown and whatnot? What do you think happened to her, like?
Well, I had a whole canon about like her just being in Fire Nation Insane Asylum, and that's where I was ordering my pizza from, and then. And then now there's like a comic book out called, with the Search, where now she's like friends with them and traveling around. And I was like, no, this isn't good at all. I mean, the guys that do the comic book, sorry. But I just had an idea of what was happening. And now that she's their buddy, it's weird kind of for me. She's still a jerk, but she's kind of buddied up with them, and it's kind of messed with my story. But I always thought of her as like getting better, working on some things, lighting a candle, and just like putting on a little Alanis Morissette and just.
Do you know what happened to Azula and Zuko's mom?
No, I know, and I heard that they almost got to it as a tease, and then someone cut off the kid. That's hilarious.
Something says like, yeah, it's an incredible tale, and then they just get cut off. I don't think I've ever hated any writer as much as I hated them right then.
Oh, I know. And between that and us messing with you guys on Tumblr all the time, like I'm recording something right now. People are like, I hate you. What is it, please? I love you. I really don't know. I don't know. But if I find out, of course I'm going to tweet it because I can't keep my mouth shut.
Hi, Gray.
Good to see you again.
So I was wondering, have you had any embarrassing stories from conventions?
Well, person's feelings. I didn't know who it was. It was actually somebody that I actually liked, but I didn't know at the time. So like I was in my room on the toilet. Sorry, embarrassing. But all of a sudden I heard like ting, 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 ting on my door, like Gray. And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the toilet. Who's at the door? And then she's like, hi, I brought you a coffee. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, how did she know what room I was in? And anyway, so I was just like, oh, I'm sleeping right now. I'm like narcoleptic. It's like, I have to go to the bathroom. But yeah, no, but she brought me a latte, which was really sweet, but also kind of creepy because I was like, I don't know, it was like super early in the morning, and I don't know. That was kind of weird. But I do embarrassing things all the time. Yeah, I do. I didn't know what this character was. This guy was all dressed up, and he was like so ready for me to know what he was. He was like, so, what do you think of the costume? And I was like, it's awesome. And he was like, so, like, do you know, remember how your character was like, I don't know who you are, I'm so sorry. Oh, it really it messed with him. But yeah. One time I was oh, this is bad. No, I'm not going to tell that story. Oh, gosh. No, there was this guy, I was at a Halloween party, and he was in a striped shirt with a beanie. Anyway, he was like, guess what I am? And he had no arm. It was pinned up, his like sleeve was pinned up, and he was like, guess what I am? And I said, well, you got no arm, and you got your striped shirt, and you got your beanie, you're a pirate. And he goes, no, actually, that's always like that. I'm Waldo. And I was like, oh, God. I felt so awful. And like the pregnant, I'm always like, I used to be like, when the baby? And they're like, what? And I'm like, didn't your friend have a baby? Or I'm just like, oh, God. So now, unless there's like a leg, like kind of dangling, I'm like, not touching it. Not.
And can you do me a favor and say hi to Pip?
Oh, hello, Pip. I miss you from Tiny Chat. I'm never going to go on Tiny Chat again because I'm socially and technically really challenged. So I can't figure out how to use the thing.
Okay, thank you.
I used to go on Tiny Chat occasionally and just like wave, and I could never get the sound to go, and I could never get like, sometimes you couldn't see me, and I was kind of like Mandy Teo's girlfriend. It's like, it's not working. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knew if it was me or not. Anyway.
Hello, Miss De-Lyle.
Hello.
I got two things to ask you.
Okay.
You see, I've been a huge fan of Puppy on Movie ever since the show started in 2004.
Yeah.
I mean, how many hours did it take you to learn Japanese from Janice Kawai and Keone Young?
Well, they were the real Japanese people. I was the dumb white girl they hired at the last minute because they had a real Japanese actress there, but the acting just wasn't. Sorry, I'm pissing everybody off today. Nickelodeon's mad. The guy from the party. Anyway, but so I just came in last minute and had to redo a bunch of episodes that they'd already recorded with that woman, and I just happen to have, I'm a musician, so I have kind of a musical ear. So Keone speaks Japanese, but Janice is Japanese but doesn't speak it fluently. And so they were trying to teach us, there was a coach in there that was teaching us Japanese, and I would just pick it up because I have a musical ear. So I go, oh, I get, all the inflections and everything, which are gone now. All the words I learned, gone. But immediately I was like, oh yeah, I can say it right. You just play it and I'll say it. And it was funny because they were teasing me. They're like, you're the only white girl here and you're doing all the Japanese. Like, Janice is like, what is it again? Just like, I don't know. Anyway,
Okay,
so I'm bragging about myself. I'm pretty
and
awesome.
The other thing, do you mind if you could do a bit of a Yumi impersonation to my friends at the Bible study, Yak? Just
Hey guys, it's really cool that you're reading the Bible and stuff, and just, I just think Jesus rocks, man. Yeah!
And can you say sayonara to them?
What?
And can you say sayonara too?
Sayonara!
Thank you.
Hello. Hi. So I grew up watching Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And I love Mandy's character. I love how badass and cool she is. And my question actually is completely unrelated to that. It's about Avatar. And I was wondering what you thought of the live-action version of the movie.
Billy and Mandy?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
Avatar.
Oh.
The movie, like the live-action movie.
What did you think about it?
Well, I'm bummed that you're not in it.
I love Nickelodeon.
I just wanted to know since
I probably think what you think about it.
I probably think everyone in this room thinks what we think about it.
I probably think what everybody in this room thinks about it.
Thank you very much.
And also, like, changing the pronunciations of the names. It's like, oh, let's just take something that everybody loves and just change it. Hi.
Hi, Gray. Huge fan. I love The Weekenders and Laura
Aw,
McCoy.
that's cool. Laura's a cool girl, you know, we had fun. Me and Phil Lamar should just like do that later days.
Thank you for that. Can you tell us about your Weekenders experience? Any fond memories? love
I
the
was
cast.
like new at doing cartoons then. I had like just stopped. I was a house cleaner and a waitress and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that was one of my first big where I was like, so we're gonna show up every week? I mean, because I had like little parts here and there, and I was like, so every week we're gonna go to this show, and they bought 20 episodes. Okay, you know, it was crazy. And then I still work with all those people. Kath Soucy, who was like my idol. I remember we both had the same agent, but she was already like super established, and I was just like brand new. And I remember she came in. I was just about to read an audition. I was just sitting in the lobby, and she came in. She's like, "Hi, she's got that really nice kind of voice like that, usually." Or she talks a little bit like this, like Tish. But she came in and just signed her paper, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's Kath Soucy," because she said, "It's Kath Soucy here," and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Kath Soucy!" I walked down to the hallway, and I was like. Okay. I went in and pretended like I didn't know her, like I did with the guy. I'm good at that. When I think somebody's famous and I really love them, I will just be a total jerk to them or ignore them completely. Those are my two strategies. Anyway, am I talking too much? Okay, 4 minutes? Okay, 4 minutes. Anyway, Jason Marsden, I still do Kaijudo with him, and Phil Lamar too. So Jason, Phil, and I it's like a Kaijudo on the hub. It's like a Weekenders reunion. We got to get Kath in to do something. So anyway, it's fun.
Hi. I'm a Batman fan, so I was excited that you did, the Catwoman in Arkham City and everything. And,
well, thank you.
Bad
kitty.
It's awesome. And I was talking to Quentin, and he did Metal Gear Solid, the Revengeance and everything. And
yeah.
That's they didn't give him a game, and I can't believe that they didn't. And since you're a big part in Arkham City, did they offer you a game at all?
They did, and I sent it to my friend who loves video games. I didn't even know, I didn't know it was popular at all. I was like, I don't know, I got this free in the mail, so if you want it or whatever. And he was like, oh my God. Yeah.
And then,
I was in Peace Walker too, Metal Gear Peace Walker, and I gave that away too. I was like, Amanda, the Latina, I do a lot of Latina roles because a lot of people don't know, but my grandmother is Mexican and she raised me, so,
Does the husband play the games at all?
Yeah, a little.
I mean,
he
so
likes
cool.
to have the latest system and play the latest game and then be done with it. He's like, okay, played it. Just he likes to just. What do you? He likes technology.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, where are you going in the Apple store? While I go somewhere, he's just like, look at all the shiny machines. Anyway.
Just two more things, actually.
Okay.
One, if Katara hadn't gotten involved in that fight, Azula would have won. Just putting it out there.
You got some statements.
Yes.
Okay.
And second of all, it's a Danny Phantom question because Sam is just awesome. If after Phantom Planet and the entire town knows, or the entire world knows that Danny Phantom is Danny Phantom. Gee, why did no one put that together? Except, Giles, but that's not my point. If Paulina went after what would Sam's reaction if Paulina actually went after Danny?
Well, Danny and I are totally together now, so I don't know what she's thinking trying to get Danny. I mean, we're meant for each other. I know we played it cool for a while and just pretend like there was nothing going on, but come on, we're perfect for each other. Please. I sell my pictures for charity online, and I just did this cool Danny Phantom where Sam and Danny are kind of cuddled up. So if any of our fans are out there, it's coming. And all the proceeds go to my son's school where they're building a high school and St. Jude's Hospital and all kinds of great things. So anyway.
Hi, I wanted to ask about your time as a musician. First off, are you the same Gray who played Folklife right here many years ago?
Yes.
And 2, when can we hear you sing again? And have you ever considered making a CD in your various voices, singing the...
Well, my husband's a record producer, so would you get on that, sweetheart? I am the same Gray that played here. It was so funny when I did this whole, I play the auto harp and it's electrified, and I love Johnny Cash and just all that kind of Hank Williams and just a lot of mountain music, like Appalachian music. So, what? And My husband likes Rihanna and all that stuff. I didn't even know who that was. I was like, Fred Astaire. And he's like, Fred Astaire. And I was like, Fred Astaire, Fred Astaire. And he's like, I don't know what Fred Astaire is. And I was like, you don't know what Fred Astaire is? He's like, you don't know what Rihanna is, so I don't want to hear it, okay? But yeah, so I love all that old kind of music. And so I would like do my cartoons all week and then fly out and do these folk shows like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come back and do my cartoons. And it's funny, I just lived these double lives because when I was playing folk music, they're like, wait, what are you doing in the rest of the week? And I'm like, I do voices for cartoons and video games. It's really weird. And then when I was at work, they were like, what are you doing this week? And I'm like, I play the auto harp at these folk conventions. Anyway, so it's just, and then I remember one director got my CD. I was on some compilation CD, Stephen Foster CD, and he was like,
You had a
"We're
CD
playing
of your
it."
own.
Yes, and he was like, he said we were listening to it on our road trip, and then I realized, oh my God, that's great. She's on this CD we're listening to. Anyway, it's weird. I think I'm done now, but can we let this last lady, because she's having a baby? Okay. Or is she? I don't know. That's terrible. I'm a terrible person. I know you are. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm a big fan of a lot of the shows you're on. And I was wondering what your favorite part of playing Sam Manson on Danny Phantom was.
Well, I've done Fairly OddParents for so long, and I love Butch, and Butch has put me on every single show he's done. I told him, I said, you better put me on Tough Puppy, because I'm your lucky charm if you want, things to go for several seasons. So, yeah. So, my favorite part is just working. He usually uses the same people, too, like Darren Norris and Suzanne Blakesley and, Tara and all those people. So it's just fun hanging out with, it's like a big family, hanging out all together. And, yeah, that's my favorite part. Yeah. And also I love David Kaufman too, and I love that Sam and Diane relationships. I love it when people just never. It's like, why aren't they just? I know. Get these two together. That's why in my canon, they're together.
Yeah, I love the episode Fanning the Flames.
Yes. Aw. Yeah, we need. What happened? Nickelodeon.
Whoever puts a spell on Danny.
I know. Aw. Yeah, they're together. Don't worry. It's done. Got little ghost babies. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't offend too many people.